Lindsey Graham's latest wet dream about war dries up and he looks like a dejected bottom. Justin Bieber was kinda giving T-boy swag at the Grammys. Health insurance costs are up. Women and LGBTQ people are paying the price.
I want to myself.
Hey guys, welcome back to Normal Gays. I'm Brad Polumbo here with Clarkson Lawson.
What's up, guys? Now, before we get started, we've got a great members only this week.
Guys,
it's honestly the best one.
I'm gonna let you finish, but
yeah,
I literally laughed so hard. I have sweat stains.
He kept smacking me too.
So I had to, because it was so funny. We had Blair White and we did play Mary Kill, and we gave her some of the most unhinged choices we could come up with. So if you want to watch that, become a channel member now. Hit the join button, link in the description, pin comment, all that. Meanwhile, we are going to do a new, and you're gonna have to let us know if you like this, but we're gonna do a headline review of the LGBT websites. All the woke.
Just a headline review,
right?
No context.
Well, like only a little bit of context. Basically, I looked at all the different LGBT media outlets and pulled some of the weirdest headlines and like dumbest headlines, and I'm gonna have Clarkson react to them. So, without further ado, let's pull this up and go. What's that, like elevator music?
Taylor Swift.
This is from them.com. Justin Bieber was kinda giving T-boy swag at the Grammys.
I want to myself.
The boxers, the mirror, the buzz cut. That sound you heard was Bushwick crying out in recognition.
Who's Bushwick?
I don't know what that means, but literally they saying because he
looks like a boy
and in boxers, he was giving T-boy
But
energy.
like I kind of get it.
I don't.
He does kind of look
trans.
Well, not trans, but like disheveled.
So you're saying that's trans energy?
Well,
that's what they're saying?
I think that's what they're. I think so. I don't know, because like
I thought they were supposed to be pro-trans.
The T-boys that I see on TikTok are different than the ones I see in real life, obviously. But the ones on TikTok look kind of greasy.
So they're saying he looked crusty.
And I see the aura is kind of similar. Justin looks like he hasn't slept in a bit. But like,
well, why are you branding that as T-boy?
Because so does the woke people we react to. I don't know. We should delete this. Whoops.
Nope, you can't. Once it goes out,
said it. It's
uncensored,
fine.
unfiltered.
People know what I mean. Obviously, not everybody, but like a lot of, I don't know. Just a lot of them look greasy on TikTok.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. That solves everything. Just say allegedly.
You most certainly did.
No, I didn't, dingbat. Listen, I said...
I will just say it's like...
A lot of thems look greasy on TikTok. I'll say that.
Why are we looking at the Grammys and being like, how can I make this about trans?
Yeah. You know what? It's the non-binary masks that look greasy. That's who it is.
I think trans... I actually think you're not necessarily wrong. That when I think of trans men influencers, I think of like Sasha Allen. I think of like that one dude.
That is.
One dude from YouTube. Oh gosh.
I think of the one that's on RuPaul that is like the only trans man that I've found attractive.
Oh,
he's
I don't know who that is.
He's buff. I forget. I think it's like Lath or whatever. But anyways. Quick pause because Valentine's Day is coming up and WeVibe has got you guys covered. Now WeVibe is a global premium brand that creates app-controlled toys that you can use from anywhere. It's great for couples. Now I'm clearly not in one. But you know what? When I am, maybe I'll use it. Now this one is the Moxie. This is made for you girls. I don't quite know how it works. I'm not as familiar with the female anatomy, so I'm imagining it feels good. But it's ultra slim, it's completely silent, and it doesn't like move in your pants or whatever because of this magnetic design, and it stays perfectly under clothing. It's designed for playful teasing that your partner can control from anywhere. Now this is the WeVibe Bond. It is an adjustable wearable for men. It's flexible, easy to put on, easy to take off, and you can pretty much wear it anywhere, boys. So you know what? Why not? And again, this can be controlled through an app on your phone. Both of these are waterproof. They come with a 2-year warranty and they ship for free and discreetly. So right now, WeVibe is running a Valentine's Day sale. Until February 16th, you can get up to 60% off site-wide. Now that's crazy, but if you enter my code, which Brad isn't in the code, I don't know why, Clarkson10, you get an extra 10% off in addition to that 60% off that they're already doing. Link is at the top of the description and pinned in the comments, so big thanks to WeVibe for sponsoring this Normal Gays video. Now let's get into it.
All right, next headline. Health insurance costs are up. Women and LGBTQ people are paying the price. After the expiration of ACA subsidies, soaring healthcare costs have forced some to dip into savings, take on second jobs, or go without coverage. And they did the whole article about how healthcare is getting more expensive because of these lab subsidies, and it's affecting LGBTQIA people and women. What is a woman? They can't tell you, of course, but it's affecting them the most.
Well, I mean, that's kind of, they just needed to plug in gay people somewhere. Is it a gay, like,
publication? Yes.
Oh, well, so then they're going to make everything about gay people.
But like in the dumbest way imaginable. I was hoping, and I guess I wasn't, I just lied to you. I wasn't hoping. I was thinking in a sane world, Democrats would have realized making economic issues about identity is bad.
It's a bad idea.
First off, I think a lot of those ACA subsidies should have been allowed to expire. They were meant to be temporary during COVID, and they were given to people with relatively high incomes. But that's a whole separate debate. We can have that debate. But talk about healthcare prices and how they affect people, Americans. Don't divide it up by identity
I was going to
boxes.
say, because I opted to go without health insurance this year.
Oh,
but I was like, oh wait, I was like, what about me? I'm a man. And I'm like, wait, I'm gay, so this article does apply to me.
Yeah.
So they're right.
No.
Well, that's because the thing is
I need my spray bottle.
My healthcare was going to cost me, the same plan was going to cost me $950 a month. Plus, it had a higher deductible.
So you're just going to go uninsured.
So I'm like, why would I could just save that's 12 grand plus a 5 grand deductible. Am I really going to be spending like 17 grand on healthcare?
If something very bad happens to you, then yes.
Maybe if.
I guess that's your risk to take.
Yeah. And a lot of things are cheaper without health insurance, actually.
Well, the whole system is.
Yeah.
My point is just not to make it about identity politics. Like stop this. They do this. Oh my God. I got attacked by the LGBTQ media years ago. Pink News did a hit piece on me and everything because I blasted, I can't even say this with a straight face, all the LGBTQ groups claimed that coronavirus was specifically an LGBTQ issue. Because it was affecting LGBTQ people at higher rates, and that LGBTQ people had a higher rate of death from COVID. And the reason why, it's because they, apparently, and I didn't know this, LGBTQ people smoke cigarettes at a higher rate than the general public.
Really?
Yes. And so...
I'd love a cigarette right now.
Cigarettes make you more vulnerable to COVID because you have weaker lungs or something. I remember looking into it at the time. And so I did like a piece about how it's to claim it has nothing to do with LGBTQ.
Yeah.
And they all got mad at me and said that I was like blaming LGBTQ people for dying of COVID or like, let me show you this. Oh my God, I'm going to pull up the Pink News headline so you can see how dirty these hoes did me. Gay right-winger bizarrely rants that queer people are using coronavirus to, quote, fuel vague victimhood. I ate with that. Look at this photo.
Oh, you look like a child.
Well, I was about 20 years old. Brad Polumbo said that left-wing gay and transgender activist organizations were profiting off the COVID-19 pandemic. And I stutter.
That's true. You made it about gay people. So
they literally were like fundraising and putting out reports about how this is donate now. This is hurting LGBTQ people. And I'm like, that's all right. Next headline. The racist, homophobic, and frightening arrest of Don Lemon. Opinion
for this.
It's not a coincidence or an accident that Lemon and other Black capital B journalists were targeted by the Trump Justice Department, writes John Casey. We can have a debate. I'm probably actually going to host a panel about this, about whether it's valid to arrest him for this or not.
Laws to target political opponents.
Sure, right. We can talk about it, but it's not homophobic.
It's not because he's gay. It's because he was a left-wing journalist who was there, and then they can throw the book at him and make an example out of him.
It's because,
that's my opinion.
It's a partisan. You could say it's partisan, but it
sure nothing to do with him taking it up to hoo-ha.
No, how do you know he's not a top?
Did you see him walking out of that courthouse with his top?
Yeah,
his white top.
Of course, it's a white top.
And he was like, that bitch.
And he rants about white men. Listen, I will say this: whatever you think about it, I think Don Lemon is a fool, and his coverage of that protest was very bad, and he definitely was like involved in it in a weird way. Do I think he necessarily did the federal crimes they're charging? No. Do I think it's like unbiased prosecution? No. But it wasn't because he's black.
No.
You're saying, oh, they targeted black journalists. Those are the ones that went.
It just discredits the arguments too, because there's a strong argument for Don Lemon being targeted by the government. But when you start to bring up him being gay or him being
No, he's targeted by the government to any extent that he was because he's progressive and anti-Trump.
Correct.
Not because he's black.
And then, so then the people who haven't paid attention to this case, if they read this headline, and then they're like, oh, they're saying it's because he's black or gay, they're going to side with the government.
It's so dumb. And
this is like when they say Jasmine Crockett is the best candidate since sliced bread, and if you support Tallarico, you're a racist.
You saw the latest in all that, right?
Did.
I covered it on my podcast.
I'm involved in that Twitter drama still.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
But the random lady on TikTok who made the accusation, go watch my channel if you want to know what the story is about. But yeah, they just can't help themselves with some of this identity, guys. I cannot believe they're still doing this.
It's like the final cries, I think.
Oh my God. This one's kind of funny.
Okay.
This is from Queer Tea, I think. Lindsey Graham's latest wet dream about war dries up, and he looks like a dejected bottom. And the article is about, like, apparently he wanted regime change in Iran and Trump's not doing it. And I'm like, hold your breath, actually. You should not be jumping to that conclusion. But they're saying he looks like a dejected bottom.
Like he showed up to the party and all the tops said no thank you.
Oh my God, he showed up.
Is that what they mean by dejected bottom?
I guess. He showed up to the bathhouse.
Yeah, and nobody wanted to touch him.
Oh.
Well, did you see the video of the guy who went up to him and was like asking him why he was still in the closet?
I don't like that. Just leave him alone.
I don't like it either, but
leave
also,
him alone. He's not doing anything.
Did he vote for the Respect for Marriage Act?
Probably not.
If he didn't, then I don't care.
No, I don't agree with that.
Because I don't think being gay is an insult. So if you ask somebody if they're gay, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Especially when you have credible allegations of you paying young people allegedly for it.
Well, adults, sex workers.
Yeah.
I just want to be clear when you say young people.
No,
be clear what we're talking
this isn't
about.
Epstein.
No,
No.
we're not talking about anything like that. But yes, there are allegations against him. I just don't care. I'll judge him as a senator based on his political views and his votes. If he's gay, if he's not.
Yeah, but you know how these in the closet men, how they let being in the closet like shape a lot of their opinions and the way they react to other people, the way they treat other people. A man in the closet is a dangerous man. I'm sorry. He will ruin a woman's life for 20 years and then come out and act like nothing happened.
I think you're generalizing. And
of course I am.
Not all of them
Not
are
all,
like that.
but of course I'm generalizing.
Anyway, so
I just thought that was hilarious that they put dejected bottom in the headline about a United States senator. I just love how unserious
That
LGBT
I kind of love.
That I thought it was kind of funny. But I do love also this has like literally the story itself has no relevance to LGBTQ stuff, but they just like to make fun of Lindsey Graham.
Well, Lindsey Graham is just like everybody just makes, oh, that's the gay senator. I mean, I've never known him as anything different.
I've always known him as the one who wants to bomb everywhere all the time.
Oh.
Like, I think it was John Kennedy.
Well, I think maybe if he was out of the closet, he'd be a little bit more peaceful.
Maybe. But Senator John Kennedy from Louisiana, the funny one, who said, you want to defund the police? Okay, if you get in trouble, call a crackhead.
Call a crackhead.
Can we insert that, please?
Yeah.
Look, if you hate cops just because they're cops, the next time you get in trouble, call a crackhead.
We should add that to our soundboard.
Yeah.
He said, like Lindsey Graham, that he once asked Lindsey Graham if there's any countries he doesn't want to bomb. And I'm like, you ain't with that.
I mean, I think that sounds, if I was still in the closet,
it's giving dejected bottom.
It is. I would want to bomb everywhere.
Yeah. All right. Final headline. Federal court rules that Christian teacher has to follow the rules and use trans kids' pronouns.
What?
The headline is good news. She claimed a First Amendment right to misgender trans kids because of her Christian religion and the Holy Bible. John Russell, he, him. So like a lower court ruled that a school district could force teachers to use trans students' pronouns and that there were no First Amendment rights against that. And they're celebrating this.
Wait, so a court actually ruled in favor of the teacher?
Yeah. Like
or not in favor of the teacher.
Against
in favor of the
teacher.
trans student.
In favor of the
being
school
appealed?
district. Of course. Yeah. So it will keep going up and up and they'll lose
Probably
at the
end
Supreme
up
Court.
At the Supreme Court. Yeah.
I just find it interesting because that same thinking would allow a school district to prohibit teachers from using preferred pronouns.
Right.
So I think
Nobody knows how the court works.
We actually did people commented on how I made you explain how it works and you actually got it. And they were
Yeah, they're
so
like,
proud
he's
of
so
you.
excited.
They're like, he's educating himself. Like, no, but so it's like, I think it should be up to the teacher. Crazy thought, what pronouns they want to use.
Yeah. Now, I would prefer if teachers didn't go out of their way to make students uncomfortable, but if a teacher doesn't want to do that, then like
They
just
don't
leave
have
it up
to.
to their discretion. There's a difference between a kid saying, I'm a girl today, versus like a kid who's been in your class for years. Parents are putting them through a social transition. Maybe they're not on puberty blockers. Maybe they're not actually going through with that, but they're doing it socially. If a teacher sees a kid like that and chooses to misgender them, I would consider that fairly problematic. I still think they should have the right to do it.
I definitely think they have to have the right to do it.
Yeah.
I would hope they could maybe just try to avoid pronouns or find some sort of workaround to avoid the conflict. But they're like, are you going to force teachers to call students these or they, them?
Right.
Like,
I mean, where does it end? Mix, like,
no, we're not playing those games.
No.
And they have a First Amendment right as government employees, unless it's causing serious disruption. But it can't just be that they're really mad about it. Like that's not how it works. And I find it very frustrating when these LGBT media and activists like cheer against the First Amendment that literally protects them.
Yeah.
That is what protects them from Republican state laws and everything, trying to ban people from saying this or saying that. It's like, think 5 steps ahead for once in your freaking lives, people.
No, they're too emotional.
Too emotional.
Anyways, well, this is cool. I kind of like this.
Guys, let us know which of these headlines was your favorite. I have a feeling it's going to be Dejected Bottom.
Dejected Bottom is good. Poor Lindsey.
Poor Lindsey.
Oh, he even has like Lindsey. Like that gives Dejected Bottom.
Lindsey Graham, come on, normal game.
Yeah, actually, that would be. We should send him an invite.
I'll literally email his press and his press office. Be like,
do you want to come on?
Formal interview request from the Normal Gays. Oh my god,
I would love. We don't have to talk about him being gay. I just want to talk about his foreign policy.
That's not what we do here. Anyway, guys, let us know what you think in the comments below. Make sure to become a channel member to check out our hilarious conversation with Blair White. And we'll be back with more Normal Gays real soon.
Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget, in the comments, you can get 10% off your additional 60% off at WeVibe by using my code Clarkson10. You can also scan the barcode on the screen. Love you guys.
It's a QR code, not a barcode.
Oh, it's the same thing.
Dumbass.
What's the difference? Is there a difference?
Scan the whatever code.
Comment the difference between a QR code and a barcode.
And if Clarkson is
buy a sex toy.
dumb.
All right, bye.